Welcome back. I'm glad you're still with us here on Morning at NTV. I was still scraping at the bottom of my barrel here so that I can get on board with the aspects of Islamic finance, banking. One aspect that continues to roll out in Uganda in light with developments that came through with the Financial Institutions Act of 2004 that was amended in 2016 to favor aspects of Islamic banking products creation by banks and other financial institutions. With me in studio to talk Islamic banking and the latest developments within the industry is the head of finance at Salam Bank, Sulaiman Walgembe. You're most welcome to the program.
Thank you.
We're also joined by Sophie Chigozi. She is an Islamic finance lawyer with Mesa Advocates. Many thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you for having me.
Great. Allow me begin with Mr. Sulaiman Walgembe, head of finance at Salam Bank. Just bring us up to speed with how the rollout of Islamic banking is going, given the fact that it's a very new dispensation in the finance industry.
Thank you, NTV, for hosting us and giving us this chance to speak about the current issues on Islamic banking.
You're most welcome.
As Salam Bank, we are issuing out products in Islamic banking. The demand is so huge.
Wow.
Yes, so huge you can't take it up. It's something that requires a lot of, the only challenge that we are still fighting a lot to do the mindset change. People think that Islamic banking or Islamic finance is totally free.
Totally free.
Yes, because to them the absence of interest is the opposite, the absence of costs, which is not true. Me as a finance person, there's no money that
actually I must admit I was also one of them.
Yes. So people think that the absence of costs, the absence of interest
is the absence of cost.
Is the absence of cost. So somebody thinks, come give me my 10 million, I go, I work, I bring you the 10 million, or if it gets lost,
you know,
Qaddar Allah, it has come.
As long
That's what Allah has decided. So, but it's not the case.
Okay.
So, but we are doing a lot of education, and people are getting slowly. The people who are doing business, the real business, they understand that it's not free money. So when they come, we are giving them proper explanation and tell them, this is the model. So the biggest challenge we are facing is to explain the people the model, how it works, especially since we don't give cash. Because in Islamic financing, we don't usually give you cash.
No cash.
Why? If we give you cash, you take it, we can't get money out of it. Because the major prohibition is cash cannot make you money. So what do? We do different models of trading with you. We buy and sell to you at its spread costs. We do mudaraba, what we call, we give you money, you go and work depending on the agreement, and different methods. But the uptake is big. We are getting a lot of people's requests and we are processing them. We started giving out money in September, or financing people's products.
September last year?
Yes.
Okay.
1 year after getting the license. It took us a lot of time to set up things up and running. Very. But now we have so far coming close now to 15 billion. Yes. And we have a lot of pipelines, things.
You've effectively pumped 15 billion into the economy.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
That is transformational, no doubt, and we hope the rollout can go on uninterrupted by the economic winds. Sophie Chigozi, you are a lawyer and pretty much working within the aegis of aspects that bring those who might assume that the lack of interest or the absence of interest is also the absence of cost, and that leads to misunderstandings, and usually misunderstandings end up in court. Bring us up to speed with how aspects of the legal aspects around Islamic banking and how this has been, or rather allows for rectification of disputes?
Thank you very much, Chris. As far as the legal dispute resolution is concerned, as we all know, where money flows, disputes follow.
No doubt.
Yeah, so in the Islamic finance landscape, since its operationalization in 2023 by the amendment to the Financial Institutions Act, Mr. Walgebe has told us that transactions, Salam Bank has started to give out financing to its customers. So we have seen in the commercial court, last year Justice Mujeni did deliver a judgment. It was a dispute between the Microfinance Support Center and Kasese Hospital, which was based on Murabaha, which is a cost plus finance.
What's that?
Murabaha. Cost plus.
Murabaha.
Yes, cost plus financing. And the hospital was not able to follow through with the contracts. So we saw this dispute escalate through other alternative dispute resolution mechanisms into the courts of law. So and the court really did say that there was a breach of contract. Yeah. Okay. So also with the, what is pertinent to talk about is that we also need to explore other alternatives to dispute resolution in Islamic finance, because ultimately we as lawyers are going to have to be in the mix of these transactions and find ways of presenting them, whether in mediation, arbitration, conciliation, or litigation in the courts of law.
Interesting there. Yes. I'll be returning to you shortly, especially on how the inclusion aspect comes into play when you bring Islamic banking on the table. But perhaps Mr. Walgembe can tell us, when she speaks about a conflict between Kasese Hospital and maybe the bank, it's more to a client not understanding the dynamics properly. Does it work best when you have the bank working with a client who, for lack of a better word, allow me use this, is Muslim leaning and understands how things work best? Because I believe if I were to misunderstand anything in terms of the terms and the conditions therein, an agreement, it will come down to the fact that maybe I'm misunderstanding them on account of a lack of understanding of Islam and its workings.
Yes, that case, we have discussed it with our legal team in office, and it has helped us shape our operations as we are designing contracts. Yeah. But what we are finding in our market, some people come deliberately to fraud. Deliberately. It's not that they don't understand exactly the technicalities. Some come,
they see it as an easy target.
There are some people we have declined their finance, their financing. When we find behind the scene, we just try to think there is some intention to fraud. So some people want to take the simplicity of Islamic financing to also their advantage, because this is not where we are going to put you on the neck of an interest that you must pay us this amount. We have a bit of flexibility, but we find that part of the things today we are doing is culture change. That's why I always told the people, you will not benefit from Islamic financing in any way as long as your intentions are not pure, because it comes from the religious background. So it's not about people not
purity of heart.
Yes, it's about the purity of the heart. So because we have people who come to find Islamic financing for three reasons. We have three categories. We have somebody who comes purely for business, and he has a good business. He's not a Muslim, and we have financed. Actually, our financing is not about, for us, we are looking at mostly business. Then we have people who say, I've been excluded from the financing part, from the conventional, because of my religion. Because in Islam, riba is one of the big sins. So somebody has been excluded and now say, it's my time now too.
And they are happy that there's somebody who understands them.
Such a person is not going to do much comparison with the conventional.
That is right.
The business person will do too much convention. Change. Okay, what are you charging? What are you? So they do that type. Then we have somebody who is coming to explore the options and say, okay, this is the loop. This is the loop where I can pass to do something. So it's not about to. Of course, something is always evolving. So we are in evolution of the Islamic banking system. So whereby the court cases, so these lawyers have to work hard. So you find yourselves that we are modifying some models, not changing the fundamental, but you say, because of this, we have to finance you using this model because of what we may fear to come ahead. Okay.
I'm glad you talk about the fact that these lawyers are going to have to earn their, their money. Sophie, take us through those fundamental aspects away from the court case that you've just talked about. What are you advising the banks, or the bank for that matter, that are into Islamic finance right now on how to navigate what is no doubt a very tricky landscape in as far as a clientele is concerned?
Your question borders a little bit on due diligence checks. Yes, banks that are like Salam Bank, fully fledged Islamic bank that is offering exclusively Islamic finance, is going to have to have stringent due diligence measures to ensure that the businesses, they deploy their finances into actually, one, a going concern, and two, they are viable, they have adequate cash flows to be able to bring back the returns in terms of profit to the banks. So due diligence checks and of course tightening their internal structures, operational structures. Islamic finance is going to require a more elevated, more sophisticated, more elevated structures within the banks, operational structures within the banks themselves, because it is absolutely based on trust.
Yeah, trust.
Yes. So Mr. Walgembe here, the finance manager at Salam Bank, knows that the buy is high. Okay. Yes.
All right. I'm glad you talked about the fact that the clientele is not necessarily Islamic leaning, but I see the overbearing nature of Sharia compliant financial products and services. Now, if a client is not Islam leaning and might want a product or a service that doesn't fall within Sharia compliance, that one doesn't. You just tell them, please, find your level.
Of course. We are not looking at the person we are financing.
You're looking at the business.
We are looking at the business. What are we financing?
That is right.
That's what has to be Sharia compliant. Because for us, what we are giving you, we are making you to be Sharia compliant. We are not charging interest. We are we are having that bit of ethics. All that is humanity. The only thing we do, that's why initial screening, what are you going to do? If it's what you are going to choose is against Islam, out. That's why when this bank was bought by the shareholders and they had that intention before we got the license, Top Finance's major money customers were casinos. And that's where they had the biggest deposit.
People were gambling it away.
Yeah, casinos were using the bank. It was one of their biggest clients. But initially they said, we are losing all these deposits, but take back all your money and close all your accounts. That was the first directive. Why? Casino, gambling, and alcohol are forbidden in Islam,
within the Sharia.
Explicitly. So, any business, however lucrative it may look to be,
you guys are not going to look there if it's not Sharia compliant.
Maybe what I just want to complement what Sophie said. Enhanced due diligence. This is one of the challenges today we are facing. our turnaround time may not be as quick
as the conventional banks.
Because we are not only interested in your money. We are interested in the processes. If it's Murabaha, we have to do the due diligence also on where you're going to purchase the thing. We are not going to say, if you want to buy a car, we have to do due diligence, because that person selling the car is not selling it to you, he's selling it to us. We sell it to you. You get what I'm saying?
Okay.
You are not...
So, in a nutshell, somebody who wants a product or service that is Islamic finance based is allowing for you to become a very critical stakeholder in the business.
Yes.
Okay.
Even if we are using a cost plus, we have to be interested, because the success of your business is our success. We don't want you to fail, because to us security is too much of last alternative, too much to go to the security, because even the Sharia board, another layer we have, by the way, of management, we have the main board, we have the Sharia board.
Then the Sharia
Every process we take through, we have to go through the Sharia board, and they are not easy goers. They have to say no. If you are to go to the security, you have to go to them, and they say we have to. Then they have to ask you a lot of questions, what you have done and so on.
Okay. Very lastly, I think Sophie should be able to take us how this is trickling down to allow for financial institutions at micro level to be able to also be onboarded in provision of Islamic finance products and services.
Okay, so in still same year 2023, there was an amendment to the Microfinance Act, Deposit Taking Act of Uganda, which provided for Islamic microfinance. So from 2017, the Microfinance Support Center has been implementing Islamic finance in Uganda. And through their various projects, they have been reaching out to groups, businesses, individuals that come together in groups, cooperatives, and the like, that come together to do business together, and they give them group financing.
Group financing.
Yes, which is Sharia compliant. So I also appeal to other microfinance facilities like Pride Microfinance Institution to embrace Islamic finance. Yes, we are also seeing developments in the insurance sector. The Insurance Regulatory Authority has released draft regulations for Islamic takaful, which is also a group-based, where people come together in groups and take out insurance covers for themselves and their businesses.
Okay.
Yes.
Interesting there. That means Islamic finance is available to all aspects of the economy as long as they fall within the Sharia compliance docket.
Yes. Absolutely.
Okay.
Yes. That is also extending to the capital markets.
Extending to the capital markets.
Yes. So we
very quickly. Extending to the capital markets?
Yes, we are looking at the Capital Markets Authority of Uganda. It has also released its draft regulations on how Islamic capital markets are going to be regulated. Essentially, instruments for raising capital for businesses. Yes, on the capital markets.
All right, thank you very much, Sophie Chigozi, Islamic finance lawyer at Mesa Advocates, for that perspective, one that helps us see exactly how Islamic finance is rolling out across the economy. And many thanks to you too, Sulaiman Walugembe, Head of Finance at Salam Bank, for your submissions too. That will do it for this business update, and indeed Morning at NTV, this 18th day of March 2025. It's been a pleasure having your company for all our Muslim brothers and sisters like Sophie and Mr. Walugembe. Ramadan Karim.
Ramadan Mubarak.
All right, that's it. I'll see you guys tomorrow.